You know, there's no old market or old traders and all that, but just one big rock. Well, on this rock, there is an ancient inscription and several other inscriptions dotted throughout that historians under the British colonial regime way back in the 1840s discovered. The inscription has been dated back to the 5th century after Christ, AD. That means 400 years after Christ, someone came here and wrote an inscription in Sanskrit. You know, so that was about 1,500 years ago. This is quite possibly the oldest written inscription in Malaysia. There are two other inscriptions that have been found dating about the same period that are also in Sanskrit. The other one is called the Buddha Gupta stone, which is currently in the National Museum in Calcutta. It was brought there by the British. And a replica of that particular tablet, it's an entire tablet, is currently at the Bujang Valley Museum in Kedah, near Sungai Petani. Right? The other inscription was discovered about 6 years ago in another site in Bujang Valley. Bujang Valley is near an archaeological site in Sungai Petani. Sungai Petani is about an hour's drive north of here, where they have found remnants of an old civilization dating about the same period. That particular tablet that was found, unearthed, dates back to about 400 AD. And the archaeologists found a complete inscription in Sanskrit, but the alphabet was in Pallava alphabet. Pallava was a particular kingdom in South India during that time. The scan of the tablet was sent to the archaeologists in Indonesia, you know where the Borobudur and the rest is, and they translated it into Bahasa Indonesia in Malay, and it was a poem dedicated to the Lord Buddha. So this was done about 1,500 years ago. So there's the Buddha Gupta stone, there's the Sungai Batu stone, as they call it, that was found in the Bujang Valley, and then there is the inscription that is found here. Besides that, the Colonel James Lowe, the British colonel who discovered this in the 1840s, actually did a bit of historic vandalism, because he himself etched his own name here. There you go, 1845. And that has remained here for posterity, you know, a remnant of colonial vandalism, you know, on an archaeological site. Unfortunately, and we should take note of this also, our own people in this age have been equally irresponsible. All this, I love Julie and I love this and all that, has been done, even though in 2006, the National Antiquities Department, the Heritage Commissioner, made this an official, gazetted this as a heritage site, historic site, to be protected. So the declaration is outside there. You know, so in spite of the fact that there is no protection, I mean, it's very shameful, you know.
Should be closed.
Yeah.
It should be closed so people can
closed,
see, but not come in.
Yeah. So the rock over here was actually that when the Indians came here, they saw a lot of iron ore, an entire port civilization matured over here, and hence the place was called Kataram or Kata, and today it is known as Kedah. You know, that's where the derivative is, because it was a mountain. Hi Francis, how are you? Come to Francis. Francis is our good friend from the Church of St. Anne, and also the church that we'll go to later. Yeah, come. A river called the Merbuk River, and there was a lot of iron there and all that. So they felt that, hey, this is a good place for us to start, you know, building a port. Because it was a mountain, and most of them were Hindu, Buddhist. At that time, I don't think there was as much of a differentiation between the two. So it was quite simplified, the two religions. I mean, merged together, Hinduism, Buddhism. So they saw this mountain at the mouth of in Peninsular Malaya. All right. Now, there was a mountain over there at the mouth of the river, and I won't digress into that because that's a huge reservoir of information there. But I encourage you to go and discover it yourself. South of Gunung Jerai, there were no mountains at all, except the hill that you see here. It's called Bukit Topun recently. Okay? It's also called Bukit Batajam, after which the town is named. You know? So naturally, it is envisageable that there was because of the mountain and the reverence the ancient Hindus have towards mountains, even till today, many cultures have reverence to their mountains, right? Even Gunung Kinabalu is revered by the locals there. So you can envisage that there was a culture that developed here, and hence you get the inscription that you see over here, right? So any questions? Alright, okay. Physical remnants of Indian civilization outside the Indian subcontinent in the world. They are even older than Angkor Wat, they're older than Borobudur, they are older than the Shiv Bhadreshwar temple in Vietnam, Champa, and so on and so forth, Laos, and so on and so forth. In fact, I was a journalist, so I was directly in touch with the archaeologists. I was privileged when they discovered a Buddhist stupa made in the shape of a lotus that was dated about 300 AD. And the civilization there was dated 110 AD, where they found remnants of the iron ore. Later on, a few years ago, they actually found a jetty there and they started unearthing it. That jetty was sent to two particular laboratories, one in Korea, another one in Florida, for not DNA,
Carbon dating.
It's for analysis, to see the carbon dating, but through a very modern method. And the date for that was 487 before Christ. That's about 500 years before Christ. They had a very advanced shipping system and iron ore smelting system here. After that, they found a ship. They managed to trace a ship which is now completely covered up, because of scanners, and they also had satellite scanning. That ship is dated 100 years even before the jetty. Okay? So you're talking about 600 years before Christ. There was already a thriving civilization here, right? Which is now lost. So Angkor Wat, Borobudur, and all these places come about 10,000 years after Christ. So you can see how huge, significantly. Okay, now very quickly, because I got to move very quickly. This particular mountain, okay, is called Tok Kun, Bukit Tok Kun. Bukit means mountain, right? Hill. It's also called Bukit Bertajam. Not many people know how the hill got its name. In fact, this hill has been a point of attraction for many cultures over 2,000 years. Okay? There are two hills, in fact. This is Bukit Tok Kun. South of Bukit Tok Kun is another hill called Bukit Seraya. It's smaller. But together, Bukit Tok Kun and Bukit Seraya form an entire forest that in the past used to be connected to forests all the way to Perak and to Pahang on the westerly direction, Kedah and Pahang on the westerly direction. So this particular hill is actually very rich as a water catchment. It's incredible. So that's why around here you can find many dams. I will take you to one particular dam, two dams. One dam is in Bukit Seraya, up on the hill. It's quite inaccessible, except by 5-hour trek up the hill. And the other one is a dam that was built just before the Second World War by the British. And I will take you there. It's now decommissioned. Right? It's very historic deal. I'll talk to you about it there. Incidentally enough, and of course very significantly, the French missionaries or the local Chinese community identified this particular piece of land somehow for a church. So that's why you get the Church of Saint Anne. Saint Anne is a revered figure in France. You see? So the French missionaries, and originally they were in Batu Kawan, but I'll let the deacon tell you more about it. They were originally in Batu Kawan, and they later moved here as the town of Bukit Bertajam was growing. And Francis will give you a briefing later at the Notre Dame Church that is in Pantai Terrace. Okay, so you can feel free to, please don't contribute to historic vandalism also, so that 100 years time people can come and see your etching. But you can come and please feel free to have a look at the etching, the original etching, and then we'll move to the St. Anne's Church where the deacon will take over. Any questions you can ask me.